A regular live intro sneaks up on me. I always forget it's like 2 seconds long. I'm like fixing my hat and stuff. I'm like, oh wait, this isn't Galactic Goonies. Welcome everybody to the Resistance broadcast. It feels like we've been gone for a very long time because we rarely take time off from the podcast, but both of us were under the weather. That's what happens when you're both parents of young kids who go to school and all that comes with it. But we are back. We are at 100%, both pods firing on all engines, or whatever they say. And we're here to talk Star Wars. So I'm John. With me, as always, is Lacey. Lacey, how are things? Are you all ready for Thanksgiving? I'm sure you are. But...
I am. I'm not hosting, so it's a little different when you're not hosting Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's huge, yeah.
But I'm still doing a second Thanksgiving on Friday after Thanksgiving because I want to have leftovers. So I did it last year, and I challenged myself to see how fast I could do a full Thanksgiving. I did it in 90 minutes. So I want to see if no, with the oven and the stove and everything. I did sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, stuffing with sausage. I did turkey. I did all these things. So I'm wondering if I could beat the 90-minute time. But I also want to thank everybody for their kind messages on social media, because when we took a break, I was like, yeah, we're sick. And sometimes, you see that and you're like, oh, that sucks. They have a cold or something. I was in the ER for 6 hours. It was real serial. Yeah. I went to the doctor with a sore throat and some type of sinus infection, and then they immediately were like, oh no, you could die, you should go to the hospital. And I was like, I texted John, I was like, so we're not podcasting tonight, I have to go to the ER. And John was like, what? So it turned into this whole thing.
Imagine using your visit to the ER as an excuse for not being able to podcast. How dare you?
I know. I've been accused of that before, using my horrific hospital stays as an excuse not to just God, just take time off. How dare I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wild experience, but I'm fine now. But I want to thank everybody. Everybody's been so kind online and just been really nice to all of us, both of us. Yeah, preschool germs are no joke. I was warned by numerous people when my daughter went to preschool, get ready, you're going to get more sick than you've ever been before. And I was like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. And then this happened. But yeah, other than that, yes, I am very prepared for Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving dinner is my favorite meal ever, of all time. Combination wise, if we're talking individual items, not so much, but the combination of a full plate, is there a better feeling than getting that full plate and being yes?
No, I like it too. I think I like Thanksgiving more for the element of knowing it's the start of a mini vacation in a way, because
you're such a dad. You're time off, man.
Yes, and also just the elements of it, the laziness of it, watching football, all that stuff that comes with it too is what I like. But yeah, we are back, as you can see or hear. So make sure you are subscribed to TRB, whether that's on Apple, Spotify, any podcast app. We're everywhere. I think we're on Amazon, wherever you find podcasts, we are there. And of course, if you're watching, you're probably watching us on youtube.com/@TRB podcasts. You can subscribe free to our channel there as well. Thank you very much for that. And we have Patreon. Patreon.com/TRB podcasts is where you can go to support the podcast. We do exclusive episodes of the podcast there on Patreon, as well as meetups, hangouts. We have a Discord server. We're doing our next watch along of Home Alone next month. So if you're a patron, you'll be able to join us and watch that together, among other things. And tiers start at just $5. And your support allows us to keep doing this and grow and expand and aim for the stars, as we say. So patreon.com/TRB podcast. Thank you for all the support. And the last plug, trbpodcast.com. If you want some of our new merch, it's pretty cool. Check it out. We appreciate it. We love you. Thank you. Lacey, we do have the super chats. We'll get to those in a little bit, but to warm things up, Skeleton Crew is just coming in under the radar once again and breaking records for Star Wars. This is via Collider. A lot of people probably already saw this. Star Wars Skeleton Crew just made awards history despite no news on a season 2 yet. Come on, Bob. Let's fix that.
Bob's
Huh?
really dropping the ball
Season
lately.
2, Skeleton Crew season 2 hashtag. But the series, regardless, snagged 17 Emmy nominations in the children and family categories, more than any other Star Wars show except Mandalorian season 1. That's more than Andor, Ahsoka, The Acolyte, and others, making Skeleton Crew the franchise's unexpected awards powerhouse. This is via Collider. They checked a lot of the boxes. It streamed decently. It held consistently. It had a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes with critics. I think it was around 80% with audiences. And it's now in line for awards. So it's checking all those boxes. So if you liked Skeleton Crew, I'm about to dive into my 1-year anniversary rewatch of Skeleton Crew. My kids, my son loves Skeleton Crew. My daughter's still a little too young. He really enjoyed it. So if you liked it, watch it again now that you're not trying to figure out the mystery. Enjoy the ride, and let's push for Skeleton Crew season 2 because I really, really love that show, and I would love to see what's next for those kids. And of course, Jod Nana Wood.
Yeah, if you want more about Skeleton Crew, definitely go back not only and rewatch the series, but rewatch our Galactic Goonies series segment of shows. And we also interviewed Mick and Christopher Ford. So go back and watch those because they gave such amazing insight into the love, care, and passion that went into that series and how they would love to tell more and do more on Mick's side of things musically to tell that story. And we would love to see it because I said it when it was coming out, Skeleton Crew felt like it was being made for me because it's like exactly what I needed at the time. Just like a fun space adventure, coming of age. It's what I originally loved about Stranger Things is like basically what that story is. And I just want more of it. And I love that while typical of John and I, we were constantly being like, how does it tie into things? What are the Easter eggs here? It really is its own thing. And I love that about it. And I really want to go back with a fresh set of not rushing to watch it in a Star Wars podcaster way, like just to get to watch it as a fan.
Exactly. Yeah. And when Mandalorian was announced, I remember Favreau saying like, this is a new story with all new characters and stuff like that. And eventually it got tied into the greater story. You get Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, all that stuff. And it's like, okay. And then it's The Acolyte. It takes place way back when, all new characters. And then they're like, and here's Yoda and Ki-Adi-Mundi and, but Skeleton Crew really, aside from the pirates who were like sort of villains in The Mandalorian, it was new characters, new place in the galaxy, new adventure. It was what people have been asking for. And in my opinion, it delivered and was able to sort of pull all the demographics in terms of the age ranges of fans. And I just loved it. So congrats to John Watts, Christopher Ford, and the team for 17 Emmy nominations.
Oh my gosh, 17. Do you understand? It's not like one.
Unbelievable.
17.
So I don't know what else they need to do to make Skeleton Crew season 2, but before these kids become 25, as we're seeing the Stranger Things kids being like 20, trying to play 12-year-olds and whatnot, let's get those kids back in the saddle. Let's go on another adventure with Skeleton Crew. What do you say?
I would love that.
All right. We have some stories to get into. We have a really difficult round of One with the Force coming up, and we're going to hear from you in Resistance Transmissions, but let's get into the news right now.
Really quick before we do that, I don't mean to throw off your whole segue. I'm so sorry.
You murdered all of my transitions.
I'm so sorry. I just want to bring this up because people have been talking about it in the chat. So, hi everyone. We have a new feature out tonight where we have the show in landscape and in portrait, and some people are getting confused. There are two versions running right now on YouTube. There is a mobile version that has a little mobile emoji, and then the regular version. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you can watch one or the other. Obviously, the portrait version is for people that might be watching on their phones or on Instagram. Hi, Instagram. I know there's some people watching. Hi, how's it going? Just so people don't get confused, because there is some people in the chat being like, I don't understand. Why am I seeing a phone version? There are two versions streaming right now because we wanted people to have the best experience possible, whether they're watching on their phone, on their TV, or on their computer. So just keep that in mind, so that the phone one has the little emoji. Just go to our channel and you can find the one that's the full screen. I don't mean to throw you So
And
yeah.
our audio listeners are like, I don't care.
You don't care, but if you then switch to video, which you should, hi, I did my makeup tonight. Like, please switch to video. Like, make it worth your time.
Yeah, and you can see my face when my transitions get absolutely slaughtered.
It's the resistance.
All right, we have a couple of stories to get into today. We have we have the Mandalorian and Grogu. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. When is that they're going to turn the dial up on the stove and get to the publicity going for this thing? And Jon Favreau has delivered via Empire Magazine. The article arrived today. So if you have a subscription, check it out. There are also some sweet HD screen grabs going around.
I know. People always upload what the magazine says, not to be that person, but
yeah, it just happens to cross my eyes and I see it. So, but Favreau was talking Mandalorian and Grogu and set the record straight on a bunch of things. One of the big takeaways for a lot of people, Lacey, was that Favreau, which a lot of people had heard already, had confirmed he has a written season 4 of The Mandalorian. Which
we talked about that.
But a lot of people were like, oh, then they converted it into the movie. Favreau has just made it clear, in case anyone was wondering, that this was some sort of Moana 2 mishmash job where they take the...
I am Moana!
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Moana on Monday on Nerdy and Nice for sure. But, so it's not a mishmash. The movie is its own story, its own adventure, written once they got the green light to make a movie. So there is a Mando season 4 sitting on Jon Favreau's hard drive somewhere on his MacBook or wherever. Will that be made after this movie? We're not sure. Both of us were sort of speculating that The Mandalorian and Grogu might be the end of The Mandalorian, but we'll see. There is a season 4 written. Who knows what's going to happen? But Lacey, he also dove into some of the other elements, shedding light on sort of what this movie is going to be, and to the delight of both of us, a return to formula. What'd you make of what Jon Favreau had to say?
I mean, the thing that definitely stuck out the most was what you said, which was that there's a season 4 sitting on his desk, because I knew he had written it, but I assumed he would take some elements from season 4. I don't know if he's saying that here, that none of that is in this movie, because I think there has to be some of it, because they have to continue the story from season 3. But really, the first thing that stood out to me was how long it's been since we watched The Mandalorian season 3. They were like, it's been this minute. I was like, oh my God, it has. Oh my God.
3 years. Yeah.
Insane. It feels like it was yesterday that it just ended, and it's been 3 years. Oh my God. Other than that, it just, looking back on the timeline of things, it's so obvious that The Mandalorian was tracking a certain way as a series on Disney Plus, and then with Iger coming back in and changing everything and kind of turning it upside down, that's why we got this movie. It seems like they just kind of were like, nope, scrap everything we were talking about. We're not doing this. We're doing this. We need a movie. Get Grogu on the big screen. Let's go for it. None of this is surprising to me, I guess, to say. I am surprised that when I looked at the article, screen grab, sorry, magazine, I didn't read, Empire, I didn't buy it. It was just online. Was that the subtitle of the article was "The Boys Are Back in Town"? Because I'm not kidding. When I made the thumbnail for this episode today, I was like, should I put "The Boys Are Back in Town" on this thumbnail? And then I saw the article and I was like, wow, I'm really glad I didn't, because I'm not the only one that thought that. But the other thing was obviously getting Sigourney Weaver's name is in this article printed. And I was like, oh, so she's Colonel Ward.
Yep.
Which they did not tell us at Celebration.
No, but we talked about that. We found that out a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see it like in print in this article. I also liked how they talked about Zeb. He's obviously a fan favorite. He was a real big fan favorite, not just in Rebels, but like in The Mandalorian. When he showed up on screen, he had like such a great presence and he looked so good as the CG.
Was it Mando or Ahsoka? Now I'm getting confused.
It was End of Mando.
It was Mando?
He goes up to the bar, remember? He's talking to Carson Teva.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Which tells me that I feel like Carson Teva's in this movie because they said that he's like with other pilots. They
That'd be
mentioned
cool.
Zeb, but I would love to see, our buddy Paul in this movie. He deserves it. Yeah, I mean, I guess none of this is really that surprising to me. I would love to hear what you thought. I just kind of was like, yep, checking the boxes. Oh, it plays into Ahsoka. Check that box. Yep. But I'm just happy to see that they're like, yeah, this is happening in May because they haven't really been talking about this movie at all.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know if this is on purpose, but the more I think about it, I feel like they're using The Mandalorian debuting as a television show to their advantage, and they're doing the low hype, like they're not trying to overhype it, and
Yeah.
they're hoping that when people see this movie, it blows them away because they went in expecting something that looks like an episode of The Mandalorian. And I feel like that's, if you read between the lines, I feel like that's what Favreau's trying to tease here, because every quote of his, he sort of mentions that, and he talks about the IMAX, and he talks about, the bigger adventure, and he keeps saying the word adventure, but he also, something I've been banging the drum on since Mandalorian season 3 is they got to go back to basics and make it about these two. I've been saying that for a very long time, and hearing Favreau say exactly that makes me think, like, I think they've realized that they lost their way a little bit and got a little too wide in the net with characters and other subplots, that it really did feel a little bit like the Mandalorian himself got lost in the sauce in season 3. And I'm not saying I don't remember things Mando did in season 3, because he had some pretty epic moments. That beach scene in particular was pretty awesome, like his main entrance. But when I look back at seasons 1, season 2, and season 3, I have a harder time pulling epic Mandalorian Din Djarin moments compared to when I think about season 1, season 2, and even Book of Boba Fett. And I think they realize, like, what made this work? Just these two. Everything revolves around them. That's fine. But we got to keep the focus on these two. So I just loved everything he had to say. I'm already sold on Jon Favreau, but my biggest odd takeaway is that I feel like they're sort of purposely running with low expectations from fans on this. They're not trying to convince you otherwise. If you think that, fine. They know you're going to go see it. So they're hoping once people see it, it's going in with that low Disney Plus expectation and then being like, oh my God, wow, this is a big Star Wars movie. So that's my hope. I enjoyed everything I had to say. Granted, he didn't give us too much, but the things he did, I love.
Yeah, that all sounds great. I guess I'm a little worried because it seems like people are kind of over The Mandalorian, and I'm hoping it's just because we've been 3 years removed that will change, it coming in the new year when we get more hype and more excitement and more details around it and more, maybe a bigger, better trailer. I feel like the last trailer was great in some moments, but I don't know, I wanted more spectacle and more kind of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I trust that Jon Favreau is going to make a good movie. Like, there's no denying that he knows what he's doing, and he has hit after hit after hit. So I'm not concerned that he's going to give us a movie that's not good.
Yeah, I think it has a high floor. I think this movie is going to be like an 8 out of 10 with potential for bigger.
Yeah, I do have, I guess, some more kind of question thoughts about Mandalorian that play into our next news story. So I'm going to hold my thoughts for a little bit just because they go into what we're going to talk about next. I'm going to tell you, just looking at the image that's in the magazine for Mando, where he's kind of at this bar scene and it looks like there's creatures in cages behind him and Grogu's on his back like Yoda. The fact that they're pushing really hard with the Anzellans and the creatures for Mandalorian make me super excited for what kind of puppets and animatronics we're going to get in this movie, which I think have always been severely lacking, with the exception, I feel like, of Skeleton Crew, which really gave us amazing creature work.
Oh my God.
Andor season 2 was better. Like, there was a lot more in there, but Skeleton Crew is really kind of that magical, mystical, from somewhere galaxy far, far away creature stuff that I fell in love with when I was little and still to this day is what to me feels like Star Wars. While, stormtroopers and vehicles and lightsabers are great, to me, I feel like creatures are what sell it to me, that it's something else.
Yeah, there's something certainly nostalgic and whimsical, and adds to escaping to the fantasy of having these living quote unquote things around that we don't see on Earth.
Yeah.
We have
yeah.
our versions of swords and guns and stuff, but like a creature that like Chewbacca doesn't roll around. We haven't found Bigfoot
like
yet.
Grogu. Like that's
Yeah,
what people
right,
were so drawn to, is this adorable little cute creature that talks like a baby. So the other thing too is the article, he mentions that the characters are going to grow a lot during this movie. There's going to be a lot of growth between them. To me, is like screaming like he's going to talk.
Yeah.
He's talking. He's
talking.
doing things. He's not a baby anymore.
Yeah.
Is what what I'm basically reading in this article was like, yeah, there's a lot of growth. I was like, oh, so he's like, he's not a baby anymore. He's going to say things.
Yep.
Yeah. So the question is he going to just come on screen already done with that stuff, or is he going to is that moment going to happen in the movie?
There'll be a big moment because they want people to talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I hope it's not like last reel type of thing. But I hope it's a big moment in the middle of the movie or something like that. And then we can sort of, I don't want it to be a one moment thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because then you don't really you still don't have a full grasp on what he really sounds like if he says something quick, but with words. I want him to talk a few times. One, so we can get finally new versions of Grogu that actually speak. But also, two, we get to understand what this guy's all about. Does he talk with a normal cadence? Does he sound like Yoda? Does he sound like Yaddle? Does he sound like completely different? All we've heard of are Ku so far. What if he opens his mouth and has a baritone voice? He's like, hey, I got this. Don't worry about it, fellas. And then after that, he's like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think so. Luke is over in our buddy Luke is over in the Instagram comments, and he's saying how he can't believe how great it was seeing a creature like Teak in Skeleton Crew. And I agree.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes Star Wars to me. And the Anzellans, the fact that they're out front and center in the trailer, they're getting the big moments in the trailer, like good shot, baby, and like that kind of stuff, tells me that we're going to get a lot of those moments.
Those Anzellans are going to have a big moment in our next segment, so don't worry about that. All right, our next story is a little spicy. Not gonna lie,
it's a little spicy. This caught me more off guard than the Mandalorian article.
And
I was like, oh,
credit to the candidness and honesty. But Pod of Rebellion, the podcast with the cast of Rebels, they had the series executive producer and series writer Henry Gilroy.
Did you hear that fall to the floor? That was my fault.
Hear that.
So
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It was just
gonna be all right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they had Henry Gilroy on, and he was very honest about his thoughts on the direction that they've taken with Sabine Wren in the Ahsoka series. So, he said the whole writing team thought it was a bad idea when they had previously discussed Sabine doing this for Rebels. And here's the quote. He said, "It was absolutely not the plan," parentheses, "to make Sabine a Jedi. We really felt that not only did it step on Ezra's story, it was a weak retread. We already did this. The idea of Sabine training as a Jedi when she is already this fantastic warrior of her own type, we felt like this is overkill. I had nothing to do with the Ahsoka series, so I was shocked. What I love about the story with the Darksaber is that you don't have to be a Jedi to have Jedi ideals. I think that's what's really the more important thing. Rather than force pushing Ezra 100 feet when you've never used the Force before." Yeah,
oof. So that's the one that, like, when I got to the end of it, I was like, oh.
Now, before we like dig into this juicy nugget here, just to set the tone. So Sabine Wren, even though Henry Gilroy was the main series writer at the time, the character was created by Simon Kinberg and Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck. So he didn't create the character. So I don't want people to like make comparisons to, what Rian Johnson or JJ did with Luke to what George Lucas would feel about that or something like that. This is someone who wrote for the character. It's sort of like compare Henry Gilroy to like Lawrence Kasdan. And if they did something crazy with Han Solo, Kasdan would be like, that wasn't our plan for that. Whatever. So that's how I'm comparing that here. But Lacey, what do you make of this? It's a very honest statement. I know a lot of people have been mixed on it. There's a lot of people who really love the idea of Sabine being a Jedi, and a lot of people were like, oh man, I kind of like that she wasn't. So but that aside, like your opinion on Sabine aside, what did you make of his comments?
So away from Sabine the character, because I know people get a lot into like, oh, I don't agree with this character. I don't think this character would do this, and I understand that. I'm not the biggest Sabine fan historian to really jump into like Sabine as a character and if it fits for her or not. I only really while I've watched Rebels and I know her story, I only really am going to take it from just the Ahsoka series because I don't want to get into the backstory there. But that being said, I thought, to me at least, that the Ahsoka series seemed rushed. Like her becoming a Jedi seemed rushed to me, and her ability to do certain things seemed rushed, like the Ezra 100 feet force jump was like very like, whoa, for a second. And I know that we had talked previously, not just on these episodes, but during when we were reviewing Ahsoka, that it felt, I don't know, that it cheapened the idea of the Force or becoming a Jedi when Dave Filoni had stated that if you train hard enough, you can do it. Because it takes the specialness away from it when you grow up. You're like,
I agree
only
with that.
certain
I had a
people
problem
have
with
the
that, too.
Force.
Yeah.
Only certain people can wield it. It makes you special. And then when it becomes like, oh, well, everyone has this power, it's less unique and it's less of the hero origin story that we expected from Luke Skywalker and other people. I'm not just saying Luke, but like other people as well, like an Ezra, where you're like, oh, this person is specifically strong because like it's their destiny to be that strong. And I don't know, it muddied the waters a little bit. I do feel that while I appreciate the honesty and I appreciate writers, directors, producers, creators, whatever, giving their thoughts and feelings about projects, especially because like the whole Adam Driver stuff, like we would never know about that if someone wasn't honest. So I appreciate it. There is an aspect to this quote that I'm like, did you really have to push that far? Did you really have to add that? Because it creates this kind of negative connotation, even if you didn't mean it that way or you didn't want it to come out that way. People are going to take it like we are right now and kind of pull it apart and be like, what did he mean by this? Like, what's going on? Because it just seemed very, I don't know, that last part is like kind of petty a little bit to be like, oh, so you're throwing this guy 100 feet and you've never used the Force before. I was like, oh gosh, why would you say that? Now, of course, this is all fictional. Who really cares? But
Right.
to me, as a Star Wars fan, I was like, oh snap! What did he just say? What? And they're like,
Yeah,
so
like
how nerdy we are, by the way. That we're like, oh, what?
If Henry Gilroy had a random social media account or a YouTube channel, they would call him like a hater, But like if you took those comments out of context.
But at the same time, so Henry Gilroy is that Tony Gilroy, his brother? Are they related?
Yeah, I think it's like the Von Erich family. They're all related, I think.
Are they, or am I making that up? But I was gonna say if they are related, then
no, he's not. No, he's not related. It's just the name. Dan Gilroy is the one related to Tony.
That's why I was confused. I was like, is Henry this long lost third brother that I was unaware of?
No, but I'm sure he loves it. Like I'm sure when Andor came out and did Gangbusters, he's probably like, I love that guy's name.
Yeah,
Gilroy.
We're all Gilroy.
I'm his brother now. Yeah. Oh,
Maybe it's something that just comes with the name where you're overly honest.
Actually, that's a good idea. I should change my name and like to Jon Gilroy, and then just like try to get in with Lucasfilm and be like, they're like, all right, who are you? I'm like, I'm Jon Gilroy. So they're like, what have you done? I'm like, my last name's Gilroy. They're like, all right, you're writing the next trilogy. Come on in.
Yeah, I look. You could say whatever you want. It's not hurting Henry to say any of this. It's not hurting anybody really. It's just kind of like I don't know. if you want to get into that. It also gives this podcast something to talk about, which is fine, and gives us something to talk about. That being said, the thing I was tying back to The Mandalorian, which is my concern about this story specifically with Sabine and Ahsoka, is that it really draws my connection back to like J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, where it was people are very tied to the characters they've written or created. And so the moment that those characters get handed off to someone else and they go a different direction or they do something that they wouldn't have done, they kind of backtrack and say, oh, well, that's not what I would have done. Because people get protective. That being said, I feel, I don't know if this is the case, but it just comes across very much that Dave Filoni is now in control. And he's just like, yeah, I wanted Sabine to be a Jedi, so she's going to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Whether it makes sense in the story or not, they kind of just go with it. And this quote from Henry where he's like, look, we talked about it at length and it didn't make sense. It just felt lazy. It wasn't there. It makes me think that Dave Filoni was in this meeting and was like, should we make Sabine a Jedi? Should we make her a Jedi? And Henry was like, no, we should not make her a Jedi. He's like, well, what if we made her a Jedi? And Henry's like, no, we're not going to do that, Dave.
Yeah.
And so then Henry left and Dave was like, so we're going to make Sabine a Jedi.
Yeah. They like just get rid of Henry. Like they just get rid of him. Goodbye, Henry. There's too many Gilroys here. Get out of here.
But I just get worried sometimes that I question, and this is coming from someone that is not a Star Wars writer and is not a Star Wars creative, that are people so close to characters like Dave Filoni with Ahsoka that you just kind of insert them into things or write them a certain way that you want to see them prosper as being a Jedi, even though it doesn't make sense to the story. So my concern with The Mandalorian is, one, is Dave Filoni inserting things in there because he brings up Ahsoka during that interview again. I'm like, oh my gosh, what does this mean for Ahsoka if he's bringing it up in the Mandalorian interview? And two,
well, Filoni wasn't in that interview. That was Favreau.
No, I know. I'm saying that what did Filoni say in the process or within the writing process that would make Jon Favreau be like, yeah, so it's all connected to Ahsoka with Zeb and blah, 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 and like all these other things. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's if Ahsoka at this point in Star Wars is like cranberry and like cranberry juice or like cran apple or like pumpkin that's in everything. You're just kind of like, can I just enjoy something without the taste of cranberry in, you know, my fruit juices?
Yeah,
or
Filoni's like Lacey, but try that just a little splash. Just a little splash of Ahsoka.
Like, you know, fall, like everything's pumpkin
Yeah.
Cheerios, pumpkin this. You're like, I just want normal Cheerios. Like I don't
You don't
maybe
want
I don't
Ahsoka
want
spice latte. Yeah.
maybe I don't want that. Which is fine. Some people do, but I'm not like I won't. It's not that I won't watch it. Come on, guys, let's be honest. I'm gonna watch everything, but it just feels sometimes that Ahsoka's being like really shoved in our face a little too much. And I worry with the Sabine stuff that what is the end goal here? Because now that she's a Jedi, it makes me question everything from The Rise of Skywalker, where I'm like, okay, so where was Sabine? Where was Ezra? Where were all these people when Palpatine came back
They were
again?
all dead.
Yeah. Like, what does it mean?
Ezra. Yeah. Ahsoka is the Filoni like feet are to Tarantino. He just can't help himself. He's like,
oh, that's worse. The cranberry one was the one to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, too far.
But I was doing an actual director to director metaphor, which is better than a bartender.
No, because that's creepy. Whereas cranberry's just like, okay, I've had enough cranberry.
But it's real. Very real. Once Tarantino's editor died, when she died, the floodgates opened, and he's like, feet everywhere. Check his filmography. Once she passed away, she was definitely the one like, Quentin, can we take it easy with the dirty feet? And he's like, all right.
What about Uma telling her daughter, like, don't take your shoes off?
Sure.
What are we doing?
My take on this is I love his honesty for sure. I think that's really cool. Because that's got to be a tough spot, especially with that show, having the voice actors there who previously played the characters who are no longer playing the characters, you know, still being champions for the brand and all that stuff. And there you have the writer just like laying it all out there and just saying like, yep, I was shocked. I had no idea. And I'm sure they didn't like Lucasfilm didn't love hearing that because they love, the cohesive message and the continuity, and we're all pulling in the same direction thing. So it definitely caught me off guard. I did not expect to get something like that from a series writer. But I understand what he's saying. They had a perfect opportunity there in Rebels with the Darksaber to dabble with that, and they clearly went in another direction and focused on her warrior spirit as a Mandalorian, true and true. And you could toe that line with the Darksaber, as we've seen. So I do understand what he's saying, and I don't think he was saying particularly this, but when he made the 100-foot force push comment, it did remind me a little bit of how everyone's like, well, we didn't like how Finn was treated in the sequel trilogy. He should have been a Jedi, and he should have been a general, and he should have been this. And it's like, how many accolades and abilities does a character need? Or maybe just write the character better. I feel like they're like putting story band-aids on characters sometimes by saying like, well, now we're just gonna make him a Jedi. That'll work. I'll take care of itself. I don't know. Like, make the character more memorable. Have them do some big things, and it doesn't always have to be like the low-hanging fruit of, what if they learn how to use the Force? Let's do that.
I'm going to bring something up, actually, that when we were reviewing Ahsoka, this was like one of the things that I'll always remember is when James was talking about this character. Remember how angry he was getting when we brought up that she was going to be a Jedi?
Was he mad about it?
He was like, no, Sabine would never. No, she wouldn't. That's not her journey. Remember? And I was like, I think she's going to be a Jedi. And he was like, no. It just makes me think of that. Like, Rebels fans really didn't want her to be a Jedi. And when it happened, they were like, oh.
Yeah, it has to be a shocking thing, because I don't love the character of Sabine enough where I was like very upset about it. But I imagine, like, James, somebody who Rebels is your favorite series.
Yeah.
You watch that whole complete series, and then stuff continues on years later, and they're like, we're going to flip the script entirely and make you rethink what that character went through earlier on, because we just changed everything.
Well,
and
does it downplay it a little bit?
I don't know if it downplays it, but it's definitely jarring. And you could hear it from Henry himself. I think he maybe felt a little like the rug was pulled out from under him, because he felt like he wrote this character and completed that series. So I understand it. But at the same time, Dave Filoni can do what he feels right. At the end of the day, he created that character with Simon Kinberg, who's developing the next Star Wars trilogy that I love waiting to hear details on, and Carrie Beck, who is right there alongside Dave Filoni at the top of the executive board under Kathleen Kennedy. So if both of them created the character, and this is the direction they're going, then this is the direction they're going. I mean, not only is he the writer and director of the series, he's also chief creative officer, right alongside with Carrie Beck. And it's probably it sounds like it's gonna be the two of them taking over at some point, unless something big happens. So this is the way they're going, and it's how Filoni sees it. There's still very much a lot of that creative capital that he has with fans that I still think is there. They still have the faith in him because he was George Lucas's understudy. Now, that could change over time. We'll see. But a very interesting story nonetheless. But that is it for the news. Now it is time for this should be a pretty bananas segment.
But should we do super chats quickly?
Oh, I totally forgot. Yes, let's do the super chats. That's my
okay.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you guys so much for all of you in the comments livening up this episode. I've been throwing your stuff on screen, and then we've been reacting accordingly. You guys have a lot of great points, and we really appreciate it. Here's some super chats. First up is Drum Jedi. What up? At the Drum Jedi. Mike, what up? Thanks for the super chat. He said, glad you're both feeling better. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food item, John?
My grandpa still with us. He's 95. He's retired from making what?
Can I guess?
What?
Can I guess?
Yeah, I know. You probably know because we've been doing this so long. What is it?
Potato croquettes.
Yes, it is. Yep. Fried mashed potatoes. It doesn't get better than that. What about you?
I mean, I want to try fried mashed potatoes. Favorite thing. I'm gonna kind of be a little cheap here, and it's the combination of the perfect bite. So the perfect bite is like a little bit of turkey, a little bit of cranberry sauce, a little bit of stuffing, like the perfect bite.
Did you say cranberry?
Yeah, cranberry sauce.
So you want a little Ahsoka? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
a
saying?
little soca. God.
Just a little bit.
Cranberry on Thanksgiving is the only time that it's acceptable. So everybody tone it down. Although cranberry ginger ale is delicious as well, if we're being honest with ourselves.
This episode is sponsored by Ocean Spray.
Do you know what I learned recently? Can we go for a crazy tangent? Did anybody know that cranberry bogs are filled with spiders?
Yeah, I knew that.
I didn't know that, and one of those weird videos just rolled up on my feed, and I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
That's why
Because
they wear the big rubber pants.
Yeah, so someone had posted like a cranberry bog photo, and we're like, "Imagine the feeling of jumping into this." And someone quote tweeted and was like, "You actually do not want to jump in this. It is just filled with thousands of spiders," because I guess they keep the cranberries like safe, or like eat the stuff off the cranberries so that they're like fresh. So it's like wolf spiders are just in the bog. Like, no thanks. I'm good.
All right.
Talk about a nightmare. Anyway, yeah, I would say that's it. Next up, David Ford. Thanks for the super chat. He said, in Star Trek 2, Spock had a dramatic death saving the Enterprise. They brought him back to life in Star Trek: The Search for Spock. Why not Ben Solo? That is a great question.
Yeah.
I actually, thanks for bringing that up, David. I was going to just say right now that we had pivoted then and come back. Do you think, John, that all these writers and producers and creatives that are coming out in the past few months that have said these things that like, yeah, they didn't do this project, they didn't, is it because everybody hates Disney right now that they're like, yeah, I could say something? It feels like people are like, let me just throw this on the pile since we're all doing this. It seems like the cool thing to do right now.
What just revealing like deep like projects that fell off, like details about stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Just I guess like a little negativity to Disney being like they passed on this, they wouldn't do this, this was their choice.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, yeah, let's do a live action Moana. And they're like, okay, but what about all these cool projects we could have been doing?
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible. I mean, it's so funny because David brings up a good point, and thank you to Mike and David for the super chats. About this whole thing, like that happens so many times in movies or TV shows where some majorly fan favorite iconic character dies or gets killed, and it's this epic, monumental, must see, everyone watches moment, and then they eventually bring him back. And the recent example, or not a recent example, but an example that comes to mind, I gave Johnny my comic book collection. I forgot that I even had it. Like, I have old Superman comics from the 90s, Batman, Punisher, a lot of cool stuff. And he was reading the Death of Superman, like one of the most legendary comic runs from 1993, where they actually killed Superman. And they killed Superman, and Superman came back. So I think it's possible for Ben Solo too, in a galaxy far, far away. So I still don't buy that reason. I don't see Bob as like, if Bob saw dollar signs when Adam Driver rolled in with Soderbergh, he wouldn't have stopped himself for the sake of canon continuity in Star Wars. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, there's no way. So my thought is that he maybe looked at Adam Driver's filmography, which he doesn't have a lot of. When he's leading a movie, he doesn't have a lot of box office smashes.
There's not a lot of bangers in there.
No. So that's, I think, what Bob saw. But Star Wars is different, and Kylo Ren's different. We don't know about Ben Solo yet, because in fairness, we all have this idea of Ben Solo, but we really met him for 3 minutes. So it's just this weird thing that's going to sit out there, and I don't know how long it's going to go. I don't know that they're going to revisit it, but to me, that whole excuse put out that we don't know how he would be alive thing, I don't believe, 0% do I believe that's the reason. If Adam Driver had a massive box office run and Bob Iger's like, oh yeah, this will make money, he wouldn't have cared what the story was. Like, who in their right mind believes that that's the decision? Bob Iger made that decision based on, can we bring this, we don't believe we can bring this character back to life?
They
No
brought
chance.
back Tony Stark. That's all I'm going to say.
They bring back everybody. They brought back Palpatine.
I know,
Bob
but
Iger brought back Palpatine.
I know, but I'm saying like after that, the fact that they brought back Robert Downey Jr. after he died to be in another Avengers movie, regardless of what the storyline is, guys. They were willing to pay $80 million to bring back Robert Downey Jr. just because he has that kind of pull to the box office. Yeah, I think it's box office related, which sucks because I think that the story is there. But all right, couple super chats left. So Heinz Christie, what up? She said, just dropping in to say quick howdy. I haven't been able to catch a live show in ages. I'm currently at Wicked for Good. Have a wicked night, TRB. Oh, that's so fun.
Thanks, Christy.
I hope
Enjoy.
you love it. I can't wait to see it myself. Again, I am the person that saw Wicked in the way that I'm sure John M. Chu and the whole cast wanted everybody to watch it, which was on a plane. And I still cried. It was so
I hope
good.
it's better than the reviews it's getting.
I know it's not getting good reviews. But I'm gonna just watch it for how I want to watch it. I'm done listening to reviews because there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, it's like the best movie of the year, and I watch it. I'm like, this is straight trash. Like, what?
Some of my favorite movies have like a nice hearty 33% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't care. Like,
Christy, I hope you're having an awesome night. Thanks for popping in.
Christy.
We appreciate it. And then Darth Snaps, what up, girl? How's it going? She asks, what one character from Star Wars would you invite to your Thanksgiving dinner? John, who'd you invite?
Man, that's tough. Probably Chewie. I think it'd be really cool to have Chewie at my dinner table, hanging out.
I'm bringing R2, but it has to be the bar version. If I'm
R2?
having Thanksgiving,
You're gonna put him to work?
Me drinks. Yeah.
You invite R2 over, and you're like, "You're here to work." He's like, "Come on, man." Oh god! And it's just the $300 version from Home Depot, and he's still mad.
I know. That one is very cool. I wonder if anybody got that. Anybody out there get one of those? Because they're cool.
I kind of want one of those. Yeah.
They just came in stock again. I'm surprised you didn't grab one.
I haven't been paying attention.
Oof.
All right, we were supposed to go to one with the Force like 12 hours ago.
Oof.
The Force is with me, and I'm one with the Force.
Boom. Am I doing it or are you doing it?
I can do it. Sure.
Right.
That's the weird phrasing. I will host this segment. So one with the Force, a little bit different than Will of the Force, where we have one answer. So the question could be anything related to Star Wars. Obviously, it's a Star Wars podcast. And we give our one definitive answer. There's no maybe this or that. I'm stuck between two. Well, it would be these three. No, one. You get one. That's it. Okay. Question. If you could bring one deceased Star Wars actor back to life to play their character one more time, who would it be? John.
That
was quite a pause. I was like, is he muted?
This is definitely a just fan emotional answer. Like, my first reaction was Peter Mayhew coming back to be Chewie again. I love Jonas, you know that, but the pragmatic answer, like real right now answer, Ray Stevenson, you know, just
good answer. Yeah.
And when I wrote this question, I didn't think about him, but then as I was reading it, I was like, oh my god, Ray Stevenson. Like, we haven't even seen Ahsoka season 2 yet, but that guy was so damn good, and we talked about it. So I'm going Ray Stevenson. What about you?
That's a great answer. I didn't think of him either. My first reaction, gut answer, and it is going to be my answer, is Carrie Fisher. No doubt.
Yeah.
I severely miss Carrie as just like a presence in Star Wars, but also just a presence in media. I think someone with her courage and humor and strength is missing in the media landscape right now. Yeah, I would love Carrie to be back again. I don't think her story got to be told the way it should have been told, unfortunately. So, yeah, she was the only one I thought of when I read this question.
Yeah.
And the only answer I will ever give is Carrie.
Good answer.
So, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But Ray was a good answer. I didn't think of him, but that's because I'm, obviously I'm biased a little bit because Carrie's like the best. All right. So question number 2, which I read this before and I was like, oh, he's going for it tonight. He's going for it tonight.
I was mad at work today. I'm like, let's stir
apparently.
it up.
All right. So question number 2, guys, which in the chat, many people were saying Carrie, Christopher Lee, Carrie, Carl Weathers. Great answer.
Yeah, I saw Carl Weathers. That was a good pick.
Yep. A lot of Carries. Love it. Okay. So question number 2. Bob Iger has simply had enough of this hashtag make Solo 2 happen, hashtag save the hunt for Ben Solo stuff. He has decided to compromise and will either make a sequel to Solo or the hunt for Ben Solo. Ooh. However, Bob doesn't want to be the one to make the decision, which this might have some truth to it. So he goes to your house, knocks on the door, and asks you to decide. Which project do you choose, John?
Solo 2. Yeah, it's just the more I think about that, what that movie could have been or could be, just with the syndicates and Jabba's palace, Boba Fett and Aunt Lando and Han, Chewie, like the like immense level of swashbuckling adventure and fun that we would get on a sequel to Solo would be off the charts, and it should have happened, and it still breaks my heart to this day. So it's I'm all about the hunt for Ben Solo. I hope that comes around. I am 100% in that camp. I want it. Want to see it. But Solo 2, always.
I feel like this question was for me, and you were like, this, you know what this is? This is the Green Goblin, like Spider-Man, like, now choose.
So wait, which one's Mary Jane and which one's a trolley full of random New Yorkers?
I feel like I'm being put on the spot here. So I'm going to start with that. Oh, there's like a hair on my microphone.
By the way, can we talk real quickly though? You brought up Spider-Man. Have you watched the first Spider-Man recently? Because you love that movie, right? I
do. I haven't watched it recently. But I know that what's his name? The guy that plays Flash, Joe, whatever his name is. He recently came out and said that like the crew was like, we'll pay you money if you actually punch him in the face.
That the end of that movie, there's just that one segment right around that time you were just bringing up, and yeah, this is a little bit of a tangent, but it is so absurdly post 9/11 patriotic New York. It's pretty wild now that we're 24 years removed from it. Like, it's pretty crazy when you like hear the dialogue. Like, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Like, no New Yorker says that about another New Yorker.
Not only that, they probably wouldn't do anything. They'd either stand there or film you. They wouldn't.
I know, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They'd be like, no, he's right there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start by saying that I love Solo.
Oh no!
It's such.
She's out, folks. Don't forget this moment.
It's such a good movie. And I'm a big component to make Solo 2 happen, obviously. But that being said,
she's going to say it on air.
I would rather they make the Ben Solo movie.
Oh!
I'm sorry. So here's the thing. The Solo movie is perfect. I wouldn't change anything about it. It's wonderful. It ends in such a happy, wonderful, perfect way where they set off on adventures. And I would love to see more adventures, but okay. I would love to see more adventures, but that movie ends in a way that leaves me smiling. I left the movie smiling. The Rise of Skywalker did not leave me smiling. And the fact that Solo ends in a way that we know later down the line, Han finds the love of his life, then has a child with said love of his life. His child goes to the dark side and then is not saved and doesn't get his happy ending, which I'm assuming is all Han Solo would have ever wanted. I'm going to go with Ben Solo, Hunt for Ben Solo. I feel like that project is already there. It's already written. It's already put together. So it's just not starting off a whole process of production and like getting into the nitty gritty of like what could go wrong. It's already there. It's just, they just got to say yes. And that's one of the many reasons. Also, I just want a better ending for Ben Solo. I don't like how that character ended. I said that back in 2019. I've sat with it many years now, and I still feel that way. And it's hard for me to go back and watch Rise of Skywalker because of that. The fact that the last third of the movie,
Look.
Adam Driver says nothing except "ow" to me is just like such a waste. Whereas
no.
Alden gets to have wonderful moments throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, this is your like Bret Hart heel turn right now.
Okay.
On the chat. No, I'm just kidding.
So here's the funny thing about that, real quick. If you guys have been listening to me since 2018, you would not be surprised by this answer whatsoever.
No, yeah, I know.
This would not be surprising.
I like Henry Gilroy. I respect your honesty on the topic, and in my opinion, if they made either of these projects, I would be pretty happy about it. So,
Ecstatic. Awesome.
Yeah. So I like that you went for it there, though.
I did, and when I read this question, I was like, I know he's like I said, Green Goblin. Like, now choose.
Yeah, part of me today, when I was thinking about my answer, I was like thinking about if I chose The Hunt for Ben Solo, like how does that make sense? And the only thing I come up with is that The Hunt for Ben Solo is cast upon that blank canvas. Whereas Solo, we know it's in that little window again, and we've been in those little windows for a while. So,
can I take an even worse turn? I would greenlight a Skeleton Crew season 2.
Yeah.
Over
Skeleton
both
Crew.
of those projects.
I'm going to. Well, Bob knocked on our door, so now I'm going to go to Bob's door and knock on his door. And
you
say,
had a chance to talk to Bob, and you really just
about Solo
slipped
too
through your fingers. You had the tie on. You were ready to go.
I was ready to go, but again,
I looked at you like, this is because you all 2 days. John was like, if I see him, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something to him. If I see him, and I was like,
here's the problem. This was not one of those Bob's, like when I first saw Bob Iger, it was at the Last Jedi premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went to the Last Jedi premiere. So, but I saw Bob Iger just like chilling there, and I had nothing to say.
I have to thank you for going to that premiere, because that premiere is what made this podcast happen.
You think so?
I saw your tweet, wasn't following you, saw your tweet that you were there, and I said, who the hell is this guy? Why am I not there? And I said, I'm going to the next premiere. And then I joined this podcast.
That guy right there. There he is.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. That literally happened. It's such a weird kind of, I don't know, fate, destiny thing.
Going on a tour in my basement.
I literally went home that day and told Matt, I was like, I don't know who these people are. They're going to the premiere. And you were the person I saw. I was like, I'm going to the next one. Yep. And guess what?
But
manifesting.
Anyway, to defend myself, Rise of Skywalker premiere, it was at the end, and he was leaving to go across the street to do his speech and stuff like that, and he was flanked by these two giant pro wrestling looking security guards. It was at the end. It was right before we were leaving. Yeah. It was
before we went to the theater to go in.
That's what I mean. At the end of the pre-thing, like everyone was rushing to get to their he was getting out of there to go make his speech. There
were plenty of people around. You could have said something. Don't.
All right, whatever. All right, let's continue the show. Let's go.
I love how every time I hear the story from you, it's always like, there was a guy and someone said, don't say anything, John. So I was like, I won't say anything. Like there's a new detail that's added.
I made up for it with Harrison Ford, and then I got shooed away by his friend like I was a gnat.
Yeah. All right. And the last question, one with the Force this week, is 50 Anzellans, oh my God, 50, are about to be dumped into the belly of the sarlacc pit by the cartel. What story is this? After being caught selling spare parts to their rivals, the Hutts, knowing how much people love Anzellans, say the only way they let them live is if you do one of these three things. All I'm picturing in my mind is like a dump truck just being like beep, 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 beep.
And you just hear like,
like what? All right, the three options are: swim in the trash compactor water for 10 minutes. 2, look at Baby Yoda first episode of The Mandalorian in the eyes and tell him nobody loves you. So weird. Are you all right? Knock over Sebulba's drink while he's chatting with some of his fans at a local establishment on Tatooine. Go ahead, John. What are you doing?
I think I would knock over Sebulba's drink.
I
'Cause
knew you would.
I think I could beat the crap out of Sebulba.
I know you too well because I read this question and I was like, well, clearly John's choosing 3 because he just wants to fight someone. And then you answer the question like, well, I'd do this because I'd fight him. I'm like, there it is.
Well, the trash compactor water,
Disgusting.
you know, is there a Dianoga in there? Are they going to turn
die.
on the trash compactor?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, and it's probably gross water. You get a little bacteria infection. You know, the Empire the Empire has 0 environmental protection controls in place. You don't know what's in that water. Are the stormtroopers getting drunk, opening the hatch, peeing down there? We don't know what's happening. So that whole thing's a nightmare. Add the drowning element. That's a disaster. Looking at Baby Yoda and saying nobody loves you would be my option 2. But I think I could take Sebulba, and I'd rather have that opportunity than living with the torment of looking at that beautiful little angelic little baby and telling him nobody loves him. So that's my answer.
Okay, well, again, not surprising. I knew you were going to say that because anytime you could fight a character, I feel like you're like, okay. Like, you going to fight this person? You're like, yeah. Just like, I would choose number 2. Look at Baby Yoda from the first episode of The Mandalorian in the eyes and tell him nobody loves you. Reason because Baby Yoda can read emotions and minds, and he would know that I was lying.
Say it.
Did you just hear what I said?
I did. Say it.
He would know that nobody loves you is not the truth. Because in my brain, he'd be hearing me say, I'm just saying this to complete this challenge so Anzellans don't die. Or I would give him the picture of a dump truck dumping Anzellans into the sarlacc pit, and he would understand.
Then say it.
Nobody loves you. I love you. Says the guy that just jumped in behind him and it hit the ground so hard.
That thing cost $7 million. I took that from Lucasfilm.
You just jumped that. It hit the ground like boom.
I pulled an Indiana Jones when I went to Lucasfilm. I took the real Grogu and put mine in there. They didn't even know.
You just yeeted that like into the sarlacc.
I just threw $7 million across my room. Come watch my podcast. How you doing? All right.
Screamed. Dennis Gill just said he screamed when he threw that. Everybody's losing their minds in the chat because you just yeeted that Baby Yoda behind you. Oh my
Make
God.
that clip go viral. That could be the marketing for the movie. You're like, you gotta go see the Mandalorian and Grogu, or this guy's gonna keep throwing Grogu across town. I should post a video every day of me throwing Grogu across the room.
You should create an account that's like John throws Grogu, and it's like tweeting day number 1 until I get invited to the premiere. Throwing Grogu.
Yeah.
And
I mean, some wackos are going to be like, look at him abusing a child or something like that, you know? So.
All right. Well, that was interesting. I do love you, Grogu. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well.
I went for it. All right, guys. It's time for Resistance Transmissions. So this is the part of the show that you guys get to take part and we hear from the community. So every week or every other week, John puts up a crazy, wacky situation or not. In this case, he prepped me before the show that it's not before the episode. And you guys give your answers and we read them and give you a shout out and discuss it accordingly. So the question this week is, which Star Wars Disney Plus series have you rewatched the most? Doesn't matter if it's the occasional episode or full rewatches. So it could just be like, hey, I'm just throwing something on. Do you have one, John, before I get started?
2. Mandalorian, first 2 seasons, and Skeleton Crew. Mainly because of Johnny. You know, I watched that show a few times now, or a couple times now, like full. And I'm about to do another rewatch. So Skeleton Crew and the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. Now, I will preface this by saying a bunch of people wrote Rebels in there, and I don't want to be that guy, but Rebels was a cable show on Disney XD. It is on Disney Plus now, but it wasn't a Disney Plus show. So a lot of people did put Rebels. I'm with you. Rebels is awesome. If James was here, he would say allow it. Let him say it anyway, I'm sure. But that's why you're probably not going to hear a lot of Rebels on here, because it wasn't a Disney Plus show. That's all.
Yeah. I would probably say Mando is probably the most rewatchable because it has certain episodes you could just watch on their own because they're like little adventures. You don't have to watch the full thing. Skeleton Crew is probably second, which I have to redo a full watch, like I said earlier, because I just love it so much. All right, let's see what you guys said. First up is Valerie at valeriegogo.bluesky.social. What up, Valerie? She said, I'd have to say Mando. I'm always saying how great the episode was after watching each one, and I love seeing the concept art at the end.
Oh,
I
good
forgot
call.
they
Yeah,
do
that is
that.
fun.
Yeah, that's right. Next up is Joe Baca at joebaca.bluesky.social. He said Kenobi in caps. May be my favorite thing Disney has done. Fits seamlessly between episodes 3 and 4 and feels right at home with the movies Lucas made.
Right
I love
on,
that. I love that. Next is Stephen A. Bowman. What up, Stephen? He said, he's at Stephen A. Bowman on X. Way to get your handle, Stephen.
Yeah.
He said, The Mandalorian, especially seasons 1 and 2, there's just something so comforting about those earlier episodes. Plus, I love the mystery about where things were going. Yeah, right? It really was awesome. And then I felt like it turned into like a cameo fest.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit.
Well, but
A little bit. Next is Phil Roberts at Phil the Cool. Ooh.
what
on
up,
X.
Phil?
Phil said, Mando's Boba Fett return episode chills every single time. Ooh, yes. The grocery store cooler episode.
Yes.
That shot of him coming out of that, like the plastic door, is like one of the hottest scenes in Star Wars.
Hottest?
Hottest. Like so attractive. Like just like the walk, everything. Is that Brendan Wayne? Is that Brendan Wayne? Because it was hot.
Brendan Wayne, you walk hot. Congratulations.
He does. Look.
If we get him on the show one day,
you can have a hot walk. You can have swagger.
You got to tell me as a hot walk.
100%. I have no
All right.
shame.
Okay.
I'm not shamed by that. Like
Wait,
you're an attractive walker.
Before we continue with resistant transmissions.
I have
Scott
nothing
goes,
to hide at this point.
LG is on one tonight. LOL.
I am at a point that I feel there is nothing left to hide about my opinions of Star Wars. Now, if you asked Lacey back in like 2018, 2019, I'd be like, no, I'm like afraid to like say what I don't care anymore. I don't know. What do I care?
I don't think we've ever been afraid, to be honest.
I think early on, and I've admitted this before, that there was kind of a scaredness for me of reactions I might get online.
Oh.
Now I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very hot, like the way he opens the curtain, you're just like, whoo. And you hear that like doo 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 doo, and you're like, yep. Mm-hmm.
The guys at the local grocery store better
This
watch
is
out
working for me.
by the deli section. Lacey's gonna be peering at those plastic drapes at the deli, seeing who comes out.
If I was in a grocery store and the Mandalorian walked out of the grocery store deli fridge, there'd be problems. I'd be like, I'm sorry, what just happened? I might have a fangirl moment. I'd be like, which Disney, if you want to use that as a marketing thing, that might be hilarious. Go ahead.
It's a note to all you Mando cosplayers. You got to have a hot walk, guys and gals. Okay?
There's a swagger there that definitely they have that I don't think Pedro has. I think it's them.
I have it.
Are you sure?
I'm a hot walker. I'm a fast walker. I know that. Everyone's always like, slow down. Slow down.
I'm sorry, what was the next question? What was Anyway, next is Louis F. Machado at Leon F. LFM. He said, The Bad Batch because I did not remember it well, so I started all over again.
I love that.
I don't
I
know
just
if
loved-
that's like honest or.
I loved Luis's honesty there. It's a very honest episode today. Very honest.
Yeah. Fit and Trim at Fit and Trim on X said Andor Rick's Road. I fast forward to the band warming up and watched it too many times. Nice. Great episode.
Nice pick.
Great episode. I find that like every time Andor has been brought up recently, like I feel like Ewan McGregor was just talking about Andor, being like, I'd love to do something like Andor. So like, it just seems like every actor wanted to be a part of Andor.
Yeah.
Next is Brennan at Qui-Gon Bren. What up, Brennan? He said, I keep revisiting Kenobi. While not everything I hoped for, I love it as a bridge between Lucas trilogies thanks to the Kenobi-Leia connection, time on Alderaan, and seeing Anakin as Vader. And the Qui-Gon moment means so much to me. Kenobi is essential Star Wars viewing, in my opinion. I have to say, nothing makes me happier than seeing other Star Wars fans being like, I'm glad they made this thing. It means so much to me.
Yeah.
And it's always something different with everyone. Like I was talking earlier, like Skeleton Crew. I'm like, I'm so glad they made Skeleton Crew because it like was the best thing. But then we both obviously love Solo. We were like, Solo shouldn't be changed in any way.
Yeah,
it means so much to us.
And Brennan probably never thought in a million years he would see Liam Neeson back. And he got that little moment, which was beautiful.
I love that for you, Brennan. And last but not least is JCW Dad at hashtag renew the acolyte at JC Right Dad. Love that you want the acolyte. And they commented, he commented the acolyte by far.
Surprise, surprise.
The acolyte was interesting.
JCW Dad, turn off the podcast right now.
No. It was good. It was Star Wars. I'd still watch it. I think The Stranger kind of outshined everybody. Manny Jacinto is just like the shining light in that series for me. Yeah. And it's not just because he's like a dark, brooding bad guy. But
too bad Freakier Friday was horrible.
Oh, was it? I haven't seen it.
I got through half of it. Had to shut it off.
He has a good walk too, by the way.
Does he?
Yeah, when he's coming up out of the water.
and people wonder, But... All right, so that's it, right? Is that
Come on, you walked right into that one, pun intended.
I hot walked right into that one.
Did you though?
Yeah. I was hot walking.
All right, we do have another super chat, so I am going. Mike says, agree, Gilly. I would like to see a cut of the acolyte just as Chimere. Me too. Any behind the scenes footage there, Leslie Headland? All right. Last but not least, we do have one super chat left, which is at Heimer82J. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you, man.
Love your pick. Just like standing on the stoop, just thinking in life. Love
nice,
it.
Clean sneakers. All right.
Yes. Hey, John and Lacey. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you so much. Having a tough week. Big thank you for the laughs and good vibes. Really appreciate the both of you. Oh, I'm so sorry you're not having a good week. We've all been there, man. I was telling John I was having a bad day today. And here I am giggling it up.
Yeah, I've had a couple of weeks myself, man. So thank you for that. And
we're thankful for you. Yeah,
listening and watching, and I'm glad we were able to, lift up your week a little bit. And we're all here to do that together. So thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Everybody send good vibes to Heimer82J.
Yes,
you're the best, man.
Right on, man. Thank you. Backwards Hat Crew.
I think everybody's had enough of my shenanigans today. So back to you, John.
Well, why don't you tell people where they can find you to talk about how you were on one on this episode?
What does that mean, on one? Like I'm on a roll?
Like, yeah, I think it's just like you're like, I don't know if it's a British term or something, but like you're on one, like,
And that
yeah, like you're I don't know, you're exacerbated. I don't know like what the word is, but like
getting a little wacky.
Like yeah, like you're sort of like on a roll with, but it's different.
Little bananas.
Someone answer that in the chat while we get out of here.
Feisty.
At Lacey Gillerin on Blue Sky exclusively.
I find that I'm my best when I'm feisty, guys. People can find me on social media at Lacey Giller and at It's Lacey Giller on TikTok. And of course, at TRB Podcasts and at Nerdy and Nice. Glad to be back. Thank you guys again for the kind words. Hope everybody is well. As we're getting into Thanksgiving and the holidays, we are truly thankful for your support and what you've helped us create here with this community. You make our days better, just like hopefully we make your day better. That's it. That's all I got.
At Johnny Hoey on Blue Sky is the best spot to find me and my movie podcast, Just Like the Movies, doing Fistful of Dollars next week, Clint Eastwood Western. A big shout out to our generals and spice runners on Patreon. We mentioned our Patreon at the top. If I know things are crazy right now, money might be tight, I don't know, but if it isn't for you and you're able to support your favorite podcasts or your favorite shows or what have you, head to our Patreon, patreon.com/TRB podcasts, and sign up and join the base. It's a great time, great community, and your support allows us to keep doing what we're doing and allows us to keep trying to grow these shows and aim for the future. The generals: Carmelo, John Reese, Jetta Rosewater, Frank Grande, Chris Morales, Mike Ramori, Brendan McLaughlin, Sneaky Zebra, Dave Hornak, Colin Cormier, Stephen Garrow, and Darth Snips. And the Spice Runners: David Probus, Neil Shaw, Kendall Gellner, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, the Fort Worthian, and Brian Smith. And however you support TRB, whether it's just listening once a week, or you're a patron, or you watch us, or you have a t-shirt, or you just like laughing at our posts or what have you and having a good time, thank you all so much. We'll be back. I don't know, Lacey, we haven't really talked about it. Are we doing a Wednesday show next week?
I think we are. We're going to do a live show right before Thanksgiving. And then we're also going to do a monthly Q&A on Patreon to chill with some of our patrons. So if you want to talk to us and ask us questions that are Star Wars and not, if you just want to get to know us better, head over to Patreon.
Right on. And then Nerdy and Nice Monday, we have 5 or so big trailers we're going to talk about. So a lot going on here in the base. Thank you all so much. I have a great time doing this, and I know a lot of people are going through something, one or another, but anytime we get to hop in the base, escape, and talk Star Wars, it makes me feel good. I know it makes Lacey feel good, and hopefully it makes you feel good. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time right here on TRB. See you around, kids.